This is what I'm hearing. I'm just saying it's out there. You can see the story at the Washington Examiner. Jim Comey is apparently under investigation again for a potentially devastating leak of what was thought to be Russian intel. I just want to give you the quick backstory on this, but I want to have Trey Gowdy set it up first. This was Trey Gowdy on with, I believe, Martha McCallum on Fox News. In a nutshell, Comey's under investigation again by the Department of Justice for allegedly leaking Russian intel to a media outlet. Gowdy, as you can see by this Washington Examiner headline by Dan Chaitlin, apparently has some inside info on this. He was on Martha McCallum last night, kind of summing it up. I'll explain to you what's really going on in a nutshell so you know. Check this out.
So with regard to what I mentioned in the beginning here, this story that's just sort of coming out from the New York Times, that there's another investigation into Jim Comey leaking and that it's coming from the DOJ. The New York Times says essentially this is a leak that happened a long time ago. Usually those are followed up on right away. And they suggest that there could be some political motivation in this investigation. Any thoughts on that, Trey?
You know, Martha, I am not a fan of Jim Comey, but I am a fan of being fair. And I know the fact pattern that is referenced in this story. And Jim Comey was asked behind closed doors in a classified setting to address it, and he would not do it. His response was it was so highly classified, he wasn't even going to tell people that were cleared to hear it in a classified setting. So let the record be clear. I'm not a fan of Jim Comey's, but I am a fan of being fair to people. And I'm not going to indict him or convict him based on New York Times reporting. And my experience with him on this very fact pattern, the subject of the article, he would not address it even in a setting where he could do so. And it would have benefited him to do so, and he still did not do it.
Okay, folks, what's really going on here? Let me distill this down. What they're talking about, the alleged leak by Comey of this Russian intel to the New York Times, which, by the way, oddly was reported by the New York Times. It's just like, why are you reporting? You should be able to know if they leaked it to you or not, right? I mean, it's pretty simple. Here's the problem. The Russian intel he leaked is believed to be a fake. Do you remember the infamous July 5th press conference Jim Comey gave where he went out there and laid out Hillary Clinton's crimes and then at the end said, well, no reasonable prosecutor. Remember, everybody remembers that, right? Well, the consensus is that Comey gave that press conference because he got suckered because he's not that smart, or he didn't want to be that smart. In other words, he was winking and nodding, by a piece of fake Russian intel. It was supposedly a Russian intercept of emails between Democrats, influential Democrats, about Loretta Lynch. Follow me. It's a little complicated, but I think you'll get it. Okay. These Democrat operatives in these emails that the Russians supposedly intercepted and Comey had were emails involving Debbie Wasserman Schultz and others where supposedly they're like, hey, listen, don't worry. Hillary Clinton's going to be exonerated. Lynch is in on it. That's the gist of it. Comey's apparently reading this. Look what the Russians got. We're in real trouble, Jim. The Democrats are colluding to make this thing go away. Here's the problem, ladies and gentlemen. It is believed by just about every intelligence professional to have been a fake. It was a fake. It wasn't real. The Russian intel was not real. The emails never happened, according to a lot of the intel professionals. Or at least those emails they got. You get it? It was a fake.
Yeah.
So Comey, in an effort, I believe, to preemptively clear Hillary Clinton, thinking this was going to get out later because the Russians had it. In other words, it would get out after Hillary. Remember, everybody thinks Hillary's going to be elected president. Follow me here. Curveballs. Jim Comey is a Hillary Clinton bootlicker. He thinks this Russian intel will get out after the election and tarnish the Clinton presidency. He thinks the Russians have these emails about the Democrats colluding to make Hillary's email investigation go away. They don't have emails. It's a fake. So Comey gives the July 5th press conference, I believe, in an effort to clear the deck on Hillary, get all the information out there, and put pressure on Lynch, but giving Lynch an out. In other words, by saying at the end, no reasonable prosecutor, which wasn't his job, by the way. He's an investigator, not a prosecutor anymore. He was working with the FBI, not the DOJ. No reasonable prosecutor would prosecute this case. He takes the pressure then off Loretta Lynch, who then comes out and says, I'm just going to follow Jim Comey's advice. We're dropping this. All right. Clears the deck for Hillary. Because then they can go back and say after she wins, hey, we put all the information out there. Look, I gave a 20-minute press conference. It's all out there. What's the problem? The reason he gave the presser was because he thought the information was going to come out in Russian emails. that were fake. Comey now is believed to have allegedly leaked some of that fake Russian intel to the media people. It's the same intel he's telling Gowdy and his oversight committee when he was up there. I am not talking about this, even though you're cleared, because it's, quote, highly classified. It's BS, folks. Why did Jim Comey not want to talk about it to Gowdy? And Gowdy knows this, I'm sure. Because Comey at this point knows he got taken for a fool because he's really not that bright. And if he actually presented the fake Russian intel about the emails, someone would have said to him, Jim, did you actually check with the people involved in the emails to see if these were legit? No, we just believe it. We just believed it outright. That's what's really going on behind the scenes. Comey got embarrassed. He tried to hide it like he always does. Then there's a belief he may have leaked it. And I'm hearing a story out there that they may have given it to people up on the Hill too. The fake Russian intel. You may say, why? Gowdy just said they couldn't get it. This is what I'm hearing. I'm just saying it's out there. They wouldn't formally give it to them because then Comey would have to take credit for getting hosed. But supposedly key people leaked it to people up on the Hill to do what, Joe? Again, according to the allegations in the media out there. So then later on, if these things surfaced in the New York Times, they could say, hey, we didn't give it. It must have come from Capitol Hill. They had it too. It's just out there. It's how you may read it.
Oh.
Just put it out there.
You just heard the Dan Bongino Show. You can also get Dan's podcasts on iTunes or SoundCloud. And follow Dan on Twitter 24/7 @DBongino.